Hey lovelies, bit of a different setup today just because I've got way too much stuff to talk about in terms of like fitting everything on in one go. So I'm going to go through a little bit by little bit. I'll start off with what I wore home when I went to see my family. So it's been very hot. I think we had, even in the West Country, it was like almost 30 degrees, kind of all over the place. So a few like cool moments and then really, really hot moments. It was all over the shop. But for those of you who are newish to my channel, my mother really doesn't like perfumes. She's very sensitive, so I try to be a bit careful with what I wear if I'm going to be around her and around the family. So the thing I wore to work and then on the train and then when I was with my family on Friday evening, I just went for this classic banger because this, for me, this is the OG hot weather perfume. Like this, there's never an occasion when this isn't amazing, but I won't go on about it too long. By the way, forgive me, I've got a red burn on my wrist because I'm an idiot. I was cooking something earlier and I absolutely burnt myself. But anyway, so this is Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden, and it is just... it's so perfect in every way for hot weather. I have the big bottle and then I take my little bottle with me when I go away. That's the wrong way around, isn't it? Because this one's a really good size. I think, is this this is a 30ml, I think. Is this 30? Yeah, 30ml. Perfect for travelling. Really, really thin. Just goes in your bag. Lovely. There's nothing better for me than smelling like a clean, slightly citrusy, herbaceous spa when it's boiling hot. And people do complain that this doesn't last. I do think this lasts quite well in hot weather. It's not amazing. It's kind of, it says eau parfum vaporizer. I don't know what concentration that means because this is definitely more of an eau de toilette. But I do think if you wear this in hot weather, it does hang around. It lasts much better on clothes. I'm aware I'm wearing this for quite a long time, to be honest, when it's hot. And the thing is, I just love respraying it. It just makes me so happy. It makes me feel so fresh, so clean. I don't need to bang on too long because everyone knows green tea is basically perfection for when you're hot and sweaty. So this is lemon, bergamot, mint, orange peel and rhubarb in the top. The mid notes are jasmine, musk, oak moss, fennel, carnation, white amber. Base notes green tea, jasmine, musk, oak moss, celery seeds, caraway, cloves and amber. I get green tea. I get a little bit of mint. I get this kind of... I think that all those seeds and the fennel and the oak moss just makes this smell kind of herby. I don't get the bitterness you normally get from oak moss. There is a slight floralness, but it's like maybe a bit of jasmine, but it's not strong. There's no screechiness. There's no sharpness to me with this. It's just such a perfect perfume. One of my all-time favourites. Absolute OG. Now, I'm using a new phone. It's the first time I haven't had a Samsung in a really long time, so I'm going to try to actually get through this without screaming because I've got to get used to things being in not quite the same place, even though they're Androids. So, the other things I took home with me, I took the Mugler, I'm going to take this out, Mugler cologne, Heal Your Mind. Ooh, let's take that out. You can see how much I wore of this guy. You're getting a real good glimpse of my hairy arms in this lighting, aren't you? You lucky people. So, clean, classic, and this, which is new to my collection, but I just saw for a steal on eBay, I think, so I just bought it. Oyedo from Diptyque. So, those are the things, as you can see, really good sizes to take home with me. I consider these all relatively inoffensive perfumes that I didn't think were going to bother my mum. If she's ever worn anything, she's worn, what's it called, Verveine from L'Occitane. So she doesn't have too many quibbles with kind of citrusy, perfumes. I feel like citrus is just refreshing and clean and smells nice and isn't too overwhelming. It's not so strong that it's going to make you feel sick most of the time. So it just seems like citrus is like a really safe bet if you don't love perfumes, as, green tea, to my opinion, is. So Oyedo, I've smelt this before, lots of times in store. I think it's beautiful. The notes in Oyedo are, let's have a look. Come on, new phone. Okay, so top notes, mandarin orange, yuzu, lemon and lime. Mid notes of thyme, base notes of woody notes. And seriously, guys, I think this smells lovely, but on my skin, the thyme is out of control. Like, it just starts to smell very woody and thyme heavy on me. I still get the lovely citruses, and it's beautiful, but I much prefer Oyedo on paper than I do on my skin. I love a bit of Diptyque. This one is just not working on my skin. I was really bothered by, and funnily enough, like, I know it's the wood and the thyme that's smelling a bit strange on me, but it's not necessarily smelling very strongly like thyme. I have quite a few perfumes that have thyme in, and I also have had some perfumes that have thyme that my skin really can pull that note out, and sometimes it will ruin a perfume for me. But this smells different in some way, and I can't really explain what it is. It's like it's thyme, but there's something else there that's going really weird on my skin. But it's beautiful from the bottle. But yeah, I think that'll be one that I pass on, just because it's just not doing it for me. So Clean. Now this is one of the very few perfumes my mum has smelt on me and then has asked to just try. She still thinks it's a bit strong even from the rollable. And Fragrantica finally have put this new version. So this is called Clean Classic, the original. And I have a spray bottle of this one now as well, because I really like this perfume. But apparently this smells quite different from the old version, like the actual original. I don't know why they've called it the original if it's got different notes, but it has totally different notes. You can see this rollerball, that dent is purely from when I've gone home. This smells like fresh laundry. It smells very similar to my mum's laundry, actually, which is probably why she liked it. But I think smelling like laundry in hot weather is one of the go-tos for me. When it is so hot, I can't really imagine wearing perfume. But I'm very happy to smell like clean laundry. My favourite for it is the clean, what's it called? Lavender Eau Fraiche or something it's called. Clean laundry and lavender Eau Fraiche, I think it is. That one I love. It's in a massive bottle though, so I tend not to carry it around with me. This is just perfect for home, and also the West Country doesn't tend to be as hot as London, so Fragrantica have finally put this on, because before they only had the actual original Clean, and now they have this updated version of it. So the notes are top notes of aldehydes, peony and aromatic notes, middle notes of geranium, jasmine and pepper, base notes orange blossom, musk and sandalwood. So the original is just listed as Clean Fragrance by Clean. That's the one that came out in 2002, and it's very heavy in citrus, which this one is not massively heavy in citrus. So some people have said that this smells soapy, and I don't know. I mean, I really feel like this smells like clothes fresh out of the laundry, even before they've dried. Maybe that's the difference with the warm laundry one that I've got, or whatever the hell that's called. I have it in a rollerball, but I'd quite like it in a spray. This one smells like still wet, delicious laundry, which is why it's really good for this time of year, and I really loved wearing it. It's actually stronger than you'd imagine. It kind of really grows on the skin, and it's just perfect, like I said, for this hot weather. It's such a good one. Now, next one is also perfect for this hot weather. It is fabulous, and this one, Heal Your Mind by Mugler. It starts aromatic and a little bit like a classic, do they call it a fougere? I'm not sure if I'm getting that right. But Heal Your Mind starts with a lot of lavender. I'd say there's citruses in here for sure. And it has a real fresh, slightly masculine tone. And then it dries down. The only notes they give you for this is lavender and ambergris. Ambergris starts to come through. But honestly, in the dry down, this genuinely smells like CK2, which is a beautiful petrichor perfume that I have that is discontinued and extremely expensive. It really does. Once the lavender calms down and once the opening kind of chills out a little bit, it starts to smell a little bit petrichor-y, aquatic, calming, soothing, and it really is very similar indeed to CK2. So it's a really good alternative. I actually have something else to talk to you about in a minute. In fact, I'll just do it next, and then I'll talk about the last thing from home. Well, from my mum and dad's home. So this arrived, I think, at the weekend, and I tried it out. So I think when I was talking about CK2, I said I had another thing coming, and it is this beauty. So, Kyma from Korres. Now, I am really on a bit of a Korres kick at the moment because I now have 4 of their perfumes, and I think they're all really good. I have discontinued. I have decluttered the white tea, because that one just smelt a bit aniseedy to me. I couldn't really get on with that. The one that smelt a bit like Alien, although if you like Alien, you would absolutely love that. What is it called? Kumquat, Cashmere Kumquat. And I got rid of the one that's really peony heavy just because it was too shampooey for me, but I still really liked how that smelled. I just couldn't wear it. Love to smell that on someone else. But Kyma, this is also really does smell like CK2, and I'm impressed. So this sadly is a rollerball. I hate rollerballs, but anyway, I don't know why companies don't just make sprays. I think this one might be an even better match than Heal Your Mind by Mugler. It depends, I think, which one you can get more easily. Let's see. Let me see where you can actually see this. You see Kyma. I might put the box next to it just because. There we go. Let's put that there. I'll put this here. I would very happily have a bottle of this, but of course I don't really need a bottle of this just because I have CK2 and I've got 100 ml of that. So this one lists notes of mandarin orange, lime and orange in the top, mid notes of watery notes, sea notes and pepper, base notes, nutmeg, cedar and vetiver. Does it smell like any of those things? I don't know. It's hard because it just to me smells very similar to CK2. I think it's more citrusy, but apart from that. Now, neither of these last or are as strong as CK2, but if you love CK2 and you can't get it and you want something that smells similar, either Heal Your Mind or Kyma would be great. Or obviously, if you've just wanted to know what it smells like and you've never got to experience it, both of these are a good idea. They both have notes in that are supposed to be salty, but somehow... Let me just smell this again before I talk. Maybe a little bit, but I still think there is a kind of a rainwatery, fresh water smell in these. There is a freshness that you don't necessarily get with very salty sea perfumes, and Kyma is nowhere near as salty as, I think it's called Sykonos, the one that I've got, that has like a sea salty note in there. I think, well, maybe that's actually literally, it's got a sea salt note and this has a sea note. But I think this smells like clean blue water, not too tropical. It smells almost cold. It's just lovely. I really think this is good. So yeah, both of these are awesome. They will probably just become like travel friends to me, but they're really, really nice, and I think they're both excellent alternatives to CK2 if you can't get that one. So just to finish off my West Country stuff, gosh, I've already been talking for ages. I bought this one home with me because I wore this on Saturday evening when it was my sister's birthday. That's why I was going home. So I normally keep this at my mum and dad's, but I brought it home because I wanted to talk about it because I just put up a haul video with more of this range. So this is Tesori d'Oriente. Just moving the light around a bit. So this is Hammam, and this to me smells like a very light and slightly more citrusy version of YSL Cinema. So that's why I like this, really. I just think it really is very similar to YSL Cinema, which is an expensive perfume. People say it's discontinued, but I see it quite a lot, so I don't know whether it's just there's still lots of bottles of it left. Either way, I have a 35 ml of that. I think it's a beautiful perfume. It's much stronger and thicker than Hammam, but Hammam therefore is good for warm weather, and I really enjoyed wearing it. It lists mandarin, lemon and almond blossom in the top, mid notes of orange blossom, jasmine, base notes, vanilla, amber, woodsy notes and musk. It's almond blossom more than orange blossom and jasmine to me, this one. It's got this kind of sweet, fluffy, powdery... It's like an interesting floral vanilla, which is how I feel about Cinema. Cinema is specifically mandarin orange, and this one has that same kind of vibe. I think this is a really nice little perfume. It does not last very long, or at least it didn't in the hot weather. I don't remember what this is like in the cold weather. But yeah, so I think it's really pretty. If you can get it for an affordable price, it's a really nice alternative to cinema. If you want something though that's stronger and maybe a bit sweeter, then I always think that Jimmy Choo's Illicit is quite similar. It's like that's like a gourmand version of cinema. But anyway, I wanted to bring this home to talk about it because it's been a while. Now then, what I've been wearing for the rest of the time. Oh, guys, we've got a lot here. I've been wearing, I mean, this, to be honest, isn't even all of it. Anything that I've actually been testing this week, I haven't put on here because, or like some new stuff, because I'll save it for proper videos, because I just was like, this is going to go on forever otherwise. But the things I wore to work and the things I wore at the weekend for the last couple of weeks. So let's start with, I mean, there's only one note listed for this, to be honest, so I don't really need to look it up on Fragrantica. Mango from the Body Shop. So this one, it's a perfect mango. It is a real shame that they only do this as a body spray and that I think this is limited edition. Because honestly, like, just make a perfume version of this, because it would be the most popular thing ever, because it really genuinely just smells like mangoes. It smells like a juicy mango with a little bit of the kind of greener mango skin smell and nothing else. There's nothing to ruin this. There's no patchouli, there's no wood, there's no flowers coming in to spoil it. It just purely smells like mango. It's very fleeting, which is an absolute bummer because it is so yummy. But yeah, I really enjoyed wearing it, and I think this is going to be great as just a chuck on in hot weather. I love the smell of mango, so I'm really happy to have it. But oh, I really wish that this was stronger. But anyway, so I was wearing this when I made not last week, the week before, when I made that last video. Okay, this is my other summertime favourite. I will never get sick of this, and I have lots of backups of this. I absolutely love it. By the way, if you guys want to have a video of my backup bottles, then let me know, and I will do that. I have a big box full of backups. Even though I have so many perfumes, there are some that I just can't bear the idea of being without, or I just saw really good deals. But yeah, if you want to see that, let me know. So, Boum, green tea and cherry blossom. One of my all-time favourites, used to be a signature scent of mine. And when I talk about some of my absolute favourite perfumes being cheapies, this, like, full price is like €7 or something, €7 or €8, and it cost me maybe £6 or something like that. You can get it at the moment on Latino. I thought this was discontinued, but then it started popping up again. I really hope Jeanne Arthes do not discontinue this, because I think everyone deserves to have a delicious, fruity, non-shampooey, yummy summer perfume that smells like this. Now, if you smell green tea pomegranate from Elizabeth Arden, you will have a sense of what this smells like. That one, though, is a bit more fizzy, and it definitely veers into the shampooey arena. This one, to me, I mean, it smells like a shampoo in that you will smell like you've just come out of the shower and you've used like herbal essences or something on your hair. But it doesn't have that quality that makes me feel a bit queasy, that where it actually smells a bit detergenty. It doesn't have, to me, that soapy feel. It's watery and aquatic in a tea-like way. It's just heaven on earth. I'm going to read you the notes, and I promise you can smell all of these notes in here. Tea, lemon and pear in the top, cherry blossom, blackcurrant and rose in the mid, and then peach and musk in the base. And it's not a sickly peach, it's not a sugary or jammy peach, it's a watery peach. I can smell cherry blossom, I can definitely smell rose, I've got that pear. When you first spray it, you get lemon, the tea is there, the blackcurrant. It's heaven. And this is only second to the original green tea in terms of wearing in hot weather. I can absolutely douse myself in it. I've been obsessed with this for ages. I've been talking about it on my channel for ages. And the more people that have it, the better, because I think it is absolute heaven. So anyway, I love Boum Green Tea Cherry Blossom. It's just magical. And this is a 100ml bottle. It's one of my better dents, I have to say. All right. So let's stick with another tea perfume, because this is the time of year that I hit the tea perfumes horde. And I hadn't worn this one for ages, so I was like, I wore this on Friday, I wore it to work. It's another little bottle that's good to put in your bag. Oh, such a good one. This, I think, is a 50ml bottle. This is another good dent. So, Jill Sander Sport Water for women. This is just, look at the colour. That's exactly the way it smells. It's what people would call like a gym scent, but I think it's just feminine enough. To be honest, anyone could easily wear this without anyone blinking an eye. It is quite unisex. But it's not as unisex as something like light blue, because I think the woods in that can be very overwhelming and make it, to me, smell quite masculine. This one has enough of that kind of sweetness. It's got enough of the fruitiness. It isn't just, citrus. So I just feel like this one is, it's just so beautiful. And weirdly, this smells like a sporty and unisex version of my beloved Dior Forever and Ever Dior. Don't ask me how, I don't understand. I'm not the only person who has voted that on for Grantica. A few people have recognised that this has some crossovers. It's probably why I love it so much. But this one, the notes are yuzu, peach and green leaves in the top. Mid notes are tea, jasmine and rose. And then, well, the jasmine and rose are probably why this smells quite similar. Ambrette in the base with woody notes and amber. And it's just an absolute joy to wear. If you can't, actually, I've seen this on Tino, so I imagine you still can get it. I saw it quite recently. If you can't get this, then the perfume I had that I gave to my colleague, it smelled very similar to this, which is why I didn't keep it. It's by Victorinox, and I think it's called Morning Dew or Mountain Dew. And weirdly, it just really smells like this. They've got totally different notes. I think that one has like Edelweiss in it or something. But they're very similar to my nose. I feel like the Victorinox is slightly more woody, but apart from that, so similar. So yeah, absolutely excellent for this time of year. How many more tea perfumes have I got here? Let me see. At least one. So this is the one my husband bought me. So I wore this on the weekend. I can't remember which weekend it was, or what day. Oh, just going to spray this out. This had been missing from my collection for a long time, because this is one that I bought when it first came out in Debenhams back when I was young and couldn't really afford it. But it is a happy, joyous, perfect summery scent. So this is Guerlain, Aqua Allegoria, Herba Fresca, and it is absolutely a perfect hot weather perfume. It's made for hot weather. It smells amazing and fresh, and it's also got this like, it's got a strange tone to it because there's clover in it, and I think if you know what Calvin Klein True smells like, you'll recognise that note. So it has this kind of, how would I even explain it? Kind of, I don't want to say musty, that's not quite what I mean, but it is this kind of, it's not quite hay either. Like, clover has a really specific smell to me that I find quite comforting, but it's quite unusual. And it's not that it's not necessarily grassy, but it has this kind of almost hay-like quality. I don't really know what it is, like earthy fluffiness that I get with clover, and I got that in Truth really strongly as well. But here it's mixed with, well, I'll give you the notes. Top notes of lemon and clover, mid notes of mint and green tea, base notes of lily of the valley and cyclamen. And it's very fresh. You really get that mint. It's not 100% toothpastey, but it's definitely, if you're sensitive to mint, you won't like this. It's got a strong mint. But you really get the lemon, you really get the green tea, and despite the fact that there's nothing in here that looks sweet, it does have a real sweetness to it. And a sugary sweetness, not vanilla, not tonka. It's got like a sugary sweetness while still being very fresh, quite sheer. It's just so pretty. I loved wearing this. I've already got a tiny dent in it though, because I did want to respray it constantly, and you do need to overspray. Yes, it is quite an expensive perfume to be spraying the way that I spray green tea, but my husband paid for it, so I don't mind. It's definitely one of my top picks in terms of being like a freshie, a perfect freshie for hot weather. So yeah, that is delicious. Herba Fresca from the Aqua Allegoria range. My favourite from that range, I think, by a fairly long shot. I do quite like Mandarin Basilic, or whatever it's called as well. It's like, delicious. Okay. Ooh, where are we going from here? Let's go from a more expensive one to a cheaper one. So I had a revelation with this perfume. I've had this for a while and I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. So I gave it a full wear test on a work day. And I think this is going to be a declutter, but not because I don't like it. So let me explain myself. Firstly, excellent bottle. This is Guess Seductive Blue. Gorgeous. Love the bottle. Looks a bit more blue on my iPad, but it's actually turquoise. It's a lovely colour. I don't entirely know that I feel like this smells turquoise. I would say this does smell turquoise, but this one, I'm not really getting turquoise from it. It's more coral coloured to me, the way this smells. So, notes of Seductive Blue. Top notes of pear and bergamot. Middle notes of peony, freesia, rosewater, cyclamen. Base notes plum, musk, amber and patchouli. Now then, this was really strange because I was wearing it and I was thinking, God, this really reminds me of something. Its top comparison is Ocean de Joya, and I do not think it smells anything like Ocean de Joya. But to be fair, Ocean de Joya to me smells like pears in vinegar. Like, it's so screechy and unpleasant and shampooey to the point of madness. So I hate that perfume. And its second comparison is Dylan Purple from Versace, which I think is a little bit more, it almost smells a bit more like berries to me, that perfume. But I can kind of see the crossover, but this one does not smell like chemicals, whereas I think the Dylan Purple really smells cheap. It smells like a celeb perfume. This one to me smells a little bit like tropical fruit juice, but in a very strange way, the pear here mixing with the plum is coming across to me like the fruitiness in Modern Princess from Lonvin, and that's what it reminded me of when I was wearing it. I was thinking, oh, there's something here that reminds me of Modern Princess, but I wish I was wearing Modern Princess, because I can get a bit of the patchouli in here. This is like a kind of sharper and tangier patchouli laden version of Modern Princess, but without such a creamy musk and a little bit more aquatic. That's what I'm getting from it. I think it's really pretty. I think it's really fun. It really does have the feel of like a yummy, juicy fruit juice or something. It's not alcoholic smelling, so it's not like it's cocktails. But yeah, it really, for some reason, just it was making me think of elements of Modern Princess and then making me wish I'd worn Modern Princess. This is definitely a bit tartar. But what I'll say about this, definitely in its defence, if you spray a lot of this on, it's actually quite strong and it lasted for a long time. I was really surprised by the performance of this because, quite famously, Guess Seductive Noir and Guess Seductive Red, both of which are actually sexy and seductive perfumes, they are a little bit light and fleeting. This one was pretty strong and I could smell it all day. I think that's probably because it has that slightly patchouli base, so it's got some notes in the base that are really going to hang around, and amber as well. To be fair, the original Seductive, that perfume wasn't for me, it didn't work for me, but that was quite strong as well. So some of these Guess Seductive perfumes are surprisingly strong. This one, even though I love the bottle, I'm not going to keep it because I know every time I wear it now I'm going to think I should have put Modern Princess on because I love that perfume. But I do think this is really good and I would definitely recommend it if you like a kind of fruity floral that almost has a little bit of an appley, like a red appley vibe to it. But you want something that's going to hang around and people are really going to smell. But yeah, it's got that kind of Escada-y thing without going too shampoo-y, you know, that summer Escada kind of feel. But yeah, it's definitely not like a full shampoo, which I really appreciated. But yeah, I did not at all mind wearing that, but it's not one I feel I need to keep. Let's go back to a more expensive one now. You know, let's just mix this up because I did really wear a proper range of different price points here. So let's go for Cristalle Eau Verte. You would have seen in my citrusy and tea haul that I got this one secondhand. So the notes listed. So Cristalle Eau Verte, Eau de Parfum, they say citrus, green nose, magnolia and jasmine. Is that all that's in here? Absolutely, I don't believe it is. I think there's probably way more. There's definitely musk in here, for example. If I have a look at the Cristalle Eau Verte, I think, is this an eau de... Yeah, so the Eau de Toilette version has lemon, bergamot, neroli, magnolia, iris, musk, jasmine. And I think probably a bit closer. This is super green, very bitter in the top. But then it's got this beautiful, sweet, tangy, citrusy greenness to it. Almost smells like a tea perfume. From the bottle, it really does have some crossovers with Elizabeth Arden green tea. But when I wear it, it's way more bitter in the top. It's way greener. And then in the dry down, it's more floral than green tea. But it is in that same kind of feel. When I was actually spraying this on and when I was reapplying it, because look, you definitely need to reapply this. Cristalle is not a perfume that you're just going to be able to put on in the morning and then not reapply. It's kind of reminded me in a way, not entirely because it's not really very fruity compared to Chanson d'Eau, but the greenness in it and the grassy kind of bitter greenness reminded me of Chanson d'Eau, the original green one, which I also have and I think is fabulous for this time of year. That one, I think I always said it smells like a lime sorbet with grass sprinkled on top. That's kind of how that one makes me feel because it's even cooler than this. But it's a kind of similar feel. This is beautiful though. I don't know what to say. Like it starts off very green. It's kind of citrusy and then it dries down. It gets a bit more floral, a bit softer. And then after a few hours, it completely disappears. So thank goodness this is secondhand because if I'd have bought this for full price, I think even though I expect citruses to not last very long, I feel like because this is an eau de parfum and it's Chanel and it's so expensive, I would probably be a bit sad about just how fleeting this one is. It really does not last at all. But like I said, I got it secondhand, so I'm cool with that. It is beautiful though. It's very ladylike. It's a very classy perfume. I do think there is something ever so slightly vintage about it. So I think if you prefer something more modern, I would say just get green tea. It smells more modern than this, but it is the same kind of thing. So anyway, that's Cristalle Eau Verte. And then as we're talking about Chanson, let's talk about what I'm wearing today. And I can just... Woo! That's a big spray. Just respray it. So I'm not wearing the green one today. I pulled out this one, which is... I mean, does it say on the bottom? Very annoying. This is Chanson d'Eau, the blue bottle. And this is called Mar Azul. This is the perfume that has remained in my collection after I've had a Guess perfume, Guess Girl, the yellow one, whatever that one was called, which smelt very similar to this, and also Justin Bieber's collection edition, which is in a bottle similar to the Key, but that one was like a frosted clear glass. So yeah, that one was called Collector's Edition, and I got rid of that because it smelled like a woodier version of this, and I just think that this is a perfect hot weather perfume because it's stronger than a body spray, but it feels like an eau fraiche or something, you know. I think it's an eau de toilette technically. Yeah, it's an eau de toilette. But I think because it's got this massive sprayer that sprays out like a body spray. So it's very fresh. It's very refreshing. It's got a beautiful kind of apricot-y, fruity sweetness. Again, this does not smell blue to me. This smells, again, like a kind of orangey colour. They do, to be fair, have another one that I had. I actually gave it to my colleague because it was very similar to this, but a little bit pushing towards the light blue smell. This is, I think, more feminine than the light blue kind of smell. But that one was called, what was it called? It was like Sunset or something. It's not on Fragrantica, annoyingly, but it's in an orange bottle. It took me ages to get that one, and then I got it, and it smelled basically like this, but with a much more bitter wood in it. And because my colleague used to like light blue, I gave that to her because she wanted a summer perfume. But this one, oh, it's magic. Tangerine, blackcurrant and apricot in the top, mid notes of lily of the valley, freesia and damask rose, base notes musk, ambergris and vanilla. It does have a sweetness. I get a lot of apricot and a little bit of tangerine. I just get a general floral bouquet. There's a muskiness. Am I getting the salt from the ambergris? Am I getting an ambergris smell? Maybe a tiny bit, but not much. I think this is a really fabulous hot weather, refreshing perfume. I think the Chanson perfumes, the ones in these bottles anyway, these are definitely designed for high heat. They're made to spritz on. I feel like, I don't know if it's like Spanish or Portuguese or something, but I think that even though this is a brand by Coty, I think that this is quite popular in kind of hotter countries over in Europe. But they're so cheap. You can get like 200ml bottles of these. I think this is the 100ml. Yeah. I've got the 100ml in this and the original green one, which is even better for hot weather. And you can get them in 200ml bottles as well. And sometimes you can get 200ml for about £5, which is madness. And I think they're excellent quality considering that they are actually cheap. And unlike the ones I had from, what was it called? Gomez something? Alvarez Gomez, the ones that I tried in my last haul that I just put up. These are cheap, but they smell brilliant. They smell so lovely. They're perfect summer perfumes. So yeah, that's Chanson d'Eau Mar Azul. That's what I'm wearing today while I film this. I'm doing it on a Friday today. So let's go back in with one that's a bit more expensive. Although I think I got this is a 50ml. This is a 50ml and I got this for like £40 because I just waited till it was on a special. This is beautiful, but I can only wear this in summer because otherwise it goes very shampooey on me in cold weather. But in warm weather, it's beautiful. So this is Simone from Tocca. Beautiful bottle, beautiful perfume. So this one, I bought this. I had the sample set and I just loved it. I just thought this was beautiful, so I needed it in a bottle. I didn't need it, I wanted it, let's be real. This has watermelon in it, and you can smell the watermelon, but it is definitely mixed in with loads of florals, so it's not like you're going to get pure watermelon from this. And by the way, I am gearing up, and I will, as soon as I possibly can, make a video of watermelon perfumes, because I've actually got tons of them now. And it's so hard to find good watermelon perfumes, so I will get that done as soon as I can. But the notes in Simone are watermelon, apple and lemon. And then the mid notes are freesia, frangipani, rose and ylang. Base notes, musk, woody notes and amber. I think that this smells like a watermelon version of, again, Modern Princess from Lanvin. It's got the same creamy musk. It's got a similar kind of yummy fruitiness. It's got a very similar freesia. So this is just a beautiful, delicious, gorgeous, fruity floral that is so scrummy in hot weather. It's really, really nice. You definitely get a bit of soft watermelon, and then it's mixed in with this real kind of sugary sweetness. It does smell like watermelon. It doesn't smell like Jolly Ranchers, but yeah, the watermelon doesn't really stick around. You just get a general fruity floral, but it's very pretty, really nice. I always think this smells a bit like there's a very sheer strawberry in here. I always think that this smells a bit like watermelon, strawberry and apple. Oh, maybe like a wild strawberry, because I always think wild strawberry smells like apple, but yeah, gorgeous. Really love that. Simone Tocca, again, beautiful, ladylike, pretty, but quite fun. In hot weather. Cheapy time. We're swapping it up again. We're mixing it up. This is such a banger. I love this perfume. I've got, again, a little dent in this one. This is Aqua, Colonia, Starfruit and White Flowers. I mean, it really does smell like spring petals. It kind of makes me think of spring blossoms on trees, and then it's got this really interesting fruit and this kind of sheer juicy fruitiness, a little hint of sweetness but not too sweet. I would say, although it definitely doesn't smell the same, but it has, I think it does have a little bit of a crossover in a way with the only Hermes Jardin perfume I have. the Jardin de Monsieur Lee. They don't smell the same, but I'm in a specific mood when I want to wear one of these two. And it is normally a toss-up. I normally smell them both and I think, which one do I want to wear today? So I'm only mentioning that because I know Monsieur Lee is quite an expensive perfume, and I feel like if you want to get something that has a vibe of that, it doesn't have the same strange kind of there's like a sap note or something in that, and there's like a almost plasticky note in that I really enjoy. So this doesn't have that, but it does have that unusual fruity juiciness. It's starfruit rather than kumquat, but then it has those kind of delicate white florals as well. And I do think this has probably got jasmine in it, but I always think it has a little bit of a smell like kind of, what's it called? Like Mexican orange blossom, I think is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful and I love it. And it's another really nice way to wear a floral perfume in really hot weather because it's very juicy and light and it's just lush. Flipping back to something a little bit more pricey. God, this is so lush in hot weather. Perfect in hot weather. Oh my goodness. I find this too sharp to wear any time other than when it's hot, but when it's hot, the sweetness really comes out in this. This is Guerlain. This is Bloom of Rose, and this is the Eau de Toilette. So this is the original Bloom of Rose. I think they brought out the Eau de Parfum a little bit after this one, so this is on Fragrante Korres, just Bloom of Rose. I really didn't like the Eau de Parfum. It's one of the few Guerlains that I've just genuinely not liked. In fact, I think it might be the only Guerlain I've ever smelt that I actually did not like. But this EDT... the notes are citruses and lavender in the top, mid notes of neroli, Bulgarian rose, jasmine, sambac, base notes Tahitian vanilla and sandalwood. And the reason I still like this is because I can still smell the lavender here. I do get, because of that lavender, I still get a hint of what Guerlain is in its core, at its essence. But this is not sweet. Like I said, I can smell a little bit of that vanilla now that it's hot weather, but this would be quite tart to me the rest of the year. It's rose, but it's not loads of rose. There's more neroli in here, I'd say, but it's not green and kind of bitter the way that I often find neroli. This is it's like a sugared citrus with lavender, some white florals. If this is rose, then it's a very light rose. But yeah, if you don't like lavender, you're still not going to like this because I really think the lavender is obvious and it gives this really interesting tone. And genuinely, I've never smelt a perfume that quite smells like this one, because although I can get that crossover with the original Guerlain, this doesn't smell like anything else. Whereas there's quite a few perfumes that smell now a little bit like Guerlain. This is like super unique. It's an unusual smell, and the reason it's unusual is because of that lavender. But I really enjoyed wearing this. I thought it was absolutely lush. It was so enjoyable to wear that part of my absolute crazy brain was like, oh, maybe you should get a backup of this because it's discontinued. But I mean, it's a 50ml I've got. I don't need a backup. I only wear it like once or twice a year. So anyway, really good in this weather though. I think if you like the idea of quite an unusual fruity citrus, it's like a citrusy fruity floral that has lavender in it, like this is really interesting. So the last big one that I wore is new to my collection, but I have had and do have a sample of this, so I knew I liked it, but I was just waiting until it went to the sale because it's like, I think it cost about £18 to get this delivered. And to be fair, it was from FR Moda, it's called, and it came all the way from Europe in about 2 days. It was so quick, so it cost a lot, but my goodness, it was a quick shipping. But I waited till this went down to about £25 because I didn't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on it. It's pretty though. Here it is. I've wanted this for ages. Fico d'India from Tuttotondo. I've actually currently got Riso up on my eBay. If you guys live in the UK, if you're watching me now, I've got lots of stuff up on eBay at the moment. So I've got a link in my description if you want to, not in the description of this video, but a link on my actual page on my channel if you're interested in that. And Riso was just a little bit too gourmand for me. I couldn't get on with the rice note in that very well. So that one's up on my eBay, and it's hard, you can't get it in the UK, so if you're interested, it's up there for a good price. So Fico de India is, firstly, oh my goodness, this is so much sweeter in the hot weather than when, because I got this just before it got super hot, and I was testing it. I was like, oh, that's fresh, that's lovely. And then I wore it in hot weather, and I was like, whoa, this is much sweeter than I was expecting it to be. Very interesting. But the notes are, well, what they say on Fragrantica: top notes of fig and orange, middle notes of peach, mango and cyclamen, base notes of coconut, nectar and musk. But to be fair, well, you can see it on here actually. You see that? That is a cactusy like thing, because these are prickly pears, which I think are called, like, they're called like summer figs or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but they've got a specific name. I should have brought the box with me, shouldn't I? So this does still smell like it's got actual fig in it, but it also has prickly pear, which is the note that's in my beloved Ilio from Diptyque. And it's a really specific smell. It's like fruity and juicy, but it's kind of almost aquatic and sheer. But this has a thickness because of the cyclamen and the coconut nectar, and it's got definitely a noticeable mango. I think this smells like there's some kind of lime or something in it as well. It smells like prickly pears, figs, mango, orange, lime, some kind of slightly powdery florals, a sweet, creamy, powdery coconut, and musk. I'm not really getting peach, to be honest, but the peach might just be really sharp, and maybe that's what's mixing in with the mango and the orange, and I don't know, I'm getting like a limey smell. But yeah, this is an interesting one. This one is delicious. I still do think it has a hint of that Kilian Moonlight in Heaven general smell, but it actually dries down to be way sweeter in hot weather than I was expecting. If I wear this when it's not quite so hot, it's a little bit tartar, a little bit fresher. But yeah, it had like a kind of sugary, sweet, not entirely vanillic, but there's definitely like a sweetness in the base of this when it dries down. And even to my nose today, it smells quite sweet. But it's very tangy at the same time, and there's definitely greenness when you first spray this. And that's where the kind of the figginess, I think, of like a normal fig comes in. It does have this kind of green, figgy, slightly earthy smell. But then it just gets like brighter and fruitier, and it's yummy. It's really nice. So I'm very happy that that one's here. And then the last thing to mention, gosh, I've been talking so long. By the time you see this, you'll have no idea how many edits have happened in this video. So I was in Selfridges. I think I was just walking through Selfridges, and I smelt a couple of things on my way. One of which I threw away because I thought it was rubbish, and now I'm really regretting the fact that I can't remember what that was. If it comes to me, I'll talk about it. But I smelt a couple of the Ormonde Jaynes. One because everyone's always talking about it, and I don't know if this is one of those things that's just been sent out to every famous perfume YouTuber, because like in PR, because this is turning up everywhere, and I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's really good. But I'm smelling it and I'm like, it's alright, isn't that good? But I am a fusspot, so who knows. Ormonde Jayne, Vanille de Afriques. So I smelt this one, and it really reminded me of lots of things. It was kind of fruity. I mean, it's not spicy in a traditionally spicy way. There are spices, but it's not like, I wouldn't refer to this as like a spicy perfume. There's just some warmth. There's a lot of earthiness. There's so much vetiver in these perfumes from Ormonde Jayne. I can't say that I love it. It took quite a long time for the vanilla to come through here, and I feel like it's quite iris heavy. But it also was kind of fruity, had a slightly tropical smell to it. So the notes in this are Orris, maybe it's the Osmanthus actually. Orris, Osmanthus, magnolia, jasmine, middle notes, carrot seeds, coriander, pink pepper, Sicilian bergamot. Base notes, Madagascar, vanilla, bourbon, vanilla musk, amber, cedar and vetiver. The more it dries down, the more you get the base notes. The vanilla comes out, but then it gets a bit vetivery, a bit woody. I'm scrolling through to see what this has been compared to, and but it had that kind of vanilla wood smell to me when I first sprayed it, and in not being too vanillic though. It had that kind of sweet and fruity feel with a little bit of that vanilla. But yeah, I feel like I've smelt this before and I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I didn't love it. It was nicest. It was nicest after about an hour, and now it's smelling almost a bit masculine, but again, I think that's the cedar, the amber, and the vetiver really coming through here. But yeah, this is okay, but I just thought it was very much okay and not... Yeah, there was definitely a lot of iris in this. It's alright, or orris, I should say. But this one, this has nearly disappeared now, sadly. So this is Levant from Ormonde Jayne. I wanted to smell this one because it has been compared to Tribe from Coty. And I just was interested to see if it actually smelled like Tribe. So when I first sprayed this, I was like, no, absolutely, it doesn't bear any resemblance to Tribe. I can't see that at all. And then the more it dried down, the more I was like, okay, it's got a hint of Tribe, a little tiny hint of Tribe. But it doesn't have that same kind of grape quality that Tribe for some reason had. But there is a hint of it. I do think this is a bit shampooey. I don't love it. It's okay. The notes here: Tangelo, mandarin orange, bergamot and rose. Mid notes of orange blossom, peony, jasmine, lily of the valley. Base notes: musk, cedar and amber. So yeah, not entirely like Tribe, and it would be a very expensive version of Tribe. I don't love this. It's okay. I liked how fruity it was. It was kind of fun. But then the more it dried down, the more it got a little bit shampooey, maybe a little bit screechy. Yeah, the white florals are kind of what's hanging around here, and I don't love it, but I think I like this better than the Vanille de Afriques. But yeah, I mean, it's okay, but I didn't love it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've put these two back up because these are definitely always going to be my favourites in hot weather. Absolutely love a green tea perfume, and actually, to be honest, if we're being true to ourselves, then I think in terms of wearing in hot weather, these are probably the best out of this batch. Just so good. So good. Now, tell me what you guys have been wearing. Tell me if you've got any of the things I've been talking about today. If you've found a really good hot weather perfume, especially if it's affordable, make sure you put it down in the comments so we all know. Thank you so much for watching. If you're subscribed, you're amazing. Thank you. If you're not subscribed, please do help me out by subscribing. If you watch my videos regularly, really helps my channel. And apart from that, I think I've got some really fun things coming up soon. I've got loads of videos pre-recorded, so they are kind of spread out over the next few months. I will see you again soon. Like I said, I'm going to try and do a watermelon one. I'll get that out as soon as I possibly can. Again, thanks for watching and have a lovely week. Bye, guys.